Good evening, everyone. Hi, I'm Kim Nichols. I'm the Executive Director of ARF, and I'm here to welcome you this evening to Bark the Question. We're very excited. This is the second in the series of these educational events, and it is part of ARF's mission. We are so thrilled to be here in the William P. Rayner Training Center and bringing these educational and training events forward because it's essential for keeping animals at home. So thank you all for being here and taking the time to learn more about what your dog's trying to tell you. I want to turn this over to the Director of Training Programs, Carl Glab.
Thank you. I don't have much more to add other than I will introduce Veronica Grozbowska. Veronica is a certified professional dog trainer and certified behavioral consultant who also does many training classes here with us in the training center. So she will let you know about dog communication. So thank you and welcome to Veronica.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming. I know it's Friday evening. You probably have other plans, but I know that you're here for your dogs. So really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Like Carl said, I would like to tell you a little bit more about how dogs communicate towards other dogs, but also to us, right? I know that you're taking your dogs to classes. You bring them here, you train them. This is all great, but you're trying to teach them human language, right? But they're also trying to communicate with us in their own language. And the only right thing to do is to meet them halfway and let them communicate with us and teach them a little bit of our language and just... I'll go a little bit more into it in a second. Okay, so what is language? Language is a structured system of communication, right? Easy. So I like to say that this course or this seminar is the quickest language course on earth, because after 1 hour, every one of you will speak a little bit of dog. So within 1 hour, I'm going to show you the most important signals they're sending. So it's a structured system of communication, but what really is communication? And as the definition says, it's a process which information is exchanged between individuals through a common system of symbols, signs, or behavior. Common. So the problem is that we and our dogs, we do not have a common system of communication, right? That's why we need to meet them halfway. So how does the communication process look like? There is a sender that is coding. So in this case here, it's me speaking English with a funny accent. So some of you must decode that. And you're a receiver of that information. And depending on how well I communicate to you will be how much you will understand from what I'm saying and how much you will decode from what I'm saying with my funny accent. The same way, dogs can be senders and other dogs are receivers, and that's the main part of this presentation today. But also dogs, especially in the early stage, and I know we have a puppy in the class. Thank you for sitting in the end so you don't distract everyone. But especially puppies and young dogs, or dogs that come from big groups of dogs that come from, South or any kind of islands, Bahamas, Puerto Rico, they communicate very well in dog language. And they try to do it towards us, but because we don't know how to decode it and we don't know how to receive that information, at some point they stop. And this is very sad. They just stop communicating because what's the point if we don't see it? But after this class, you all will know what your dogs are saying. So the biggest problem is that we humans and dogs have different ways of communicating, right? So we humans verbalize. That means we're talking, we vocalize things. We have a mimicry We can communicate without saying anything, right? We can smile, we can be angry, we can be surprised with our face. Body language is a huge one, right? So before I spoke any other language than my mother tongue, I would have to kind of wiggle my way, right? And try to communicate in a different way using body language. And then scent, we don't really use that much scent. Dogs, on the other hand, it's kind of like reversed. So if you look at it from down to up, dogs' biggest way of communicating is through their noses, through scent. We'll talk about it in a second a little bit more. Body language is the next one. They are really sensitive to our body language. So even us, with the way we stand, with the way we move around, we can communicate to our dogs. Mimicry. This is a funny one because dogs look at us and they can see that we're smiling or we're winking with one eye. When you say sit, and you, for example, let's say lots of people say, oh, when I say sit, I show my dog this. Or when I say sit, I show my dog this, right? And this is something that we came up with. But your dog might not even look at the hand. They might actually look at your face and be like, oh, he winked with his one left eye when he said sit, so I'm going to sit. We don't know which part of the body they're focusing on and what is so important for them. But they do look at us when we come back from work. Is she angry? Is she nice? Is she happy, right? That all you can see in the face. So dogs really, really look at that. Vocalization. Do dogs vocalize? Some of them, yes. But this is mostly when they're puppies, when they're young. The older they are, the less they vocalize. Of course, we have some breeds. You will see some videos later. But in general, vocalization is not that big with dogs. And obviously, there's no verbalization yet. Maybe artificial intelligence will help us, and maybe our dogs will be able to speak. Hopefully not, because then I will not have a job. So, right? So maybe not yet. Okay, next one. So let's start from scent. As I said, scent is the most important. And I've put a little Facebook sign here. Social media, any kind of social media, really. When your dogs are sniffing, it's like social media. It's like a very interesting article in the newspaper. They really need to sniff. Puppies need to sniff. That's where all the information comes from, right? The old school thing where they have to heel and be next to you and just walk, heel. It's really old school. We don't really do that anymore. In urine, in scent that your dogs are following, there is an information: who is new on the block? Are they nice? Are they not nice? Are they ready to mate? Are they aggressive? Do they have any medical problems? Do they have any behavioral problems? So next time when your dog starts sniffing, just stand for a second and wait. Let them sniff. If they want to pee on top of it, it's like leaving a comment. Let them leave a comment. Let them comment on that. Let them be like, hey, I'm new in the neighborhood. My mom just adopted me 2 weeks ago. I'm ready to play, right? So next time when another dog comes, they might already know your dog from those posts and comments that they left around the yard or around the fence, right? So also, imagine this. Imagine you're reading a very interesting book and you're on the last page and you have 3 more sentences to read. And now your friend, your spouse, your child, whoever comes and says, we have to go, let's go. Let's go. Wait, I have 3 more sentences. I need to finish that book. No, let's go. Let's go, come on, we're going, come on. They're grabbing you by the shirt, let's go. And they're pulling. That's how your dogs feel when they want to sniff something and you take that leash and you're like, let's go. Imagine about those 3 sentences in that book, right? So that's why we want to let them sniff. Okay, let's go farther. Vocalization. So vocalization, the biggest vocalization is growling, and I put a little check mark here because growling is good. I mean, we don't want our dogs to growl because that means they're not happy. But if your dog is growling, never, ever, ever punish them for that, because this is the last, nicest way of saying, please leave me alone. Please don't touch me. This is the last call. Please leave me alone. I've known people that were punishing their dogs for growling, and their dogs stopped growling. And after growling, there's just biting. So if your dog doesn't give you a warning, or any dog doesn't give a warning and they just go to bite, that's not nice, right? And growling can be saying, be careful, stay away, you know, I'm unsure, I'm ready to fight, but I'm not really sure if my mom is around, or I would need some help. I'm scared, I will defend myself. I'm terrified. If you come closer, I will flight or fight, right? So some dogs will just run away and some dogs will just engage in the fight. So I think that's the most important when it comes to vocalization. Growling is okay. And of course, vocalization is also barking, but it's hard to say. Every dog barks different. Every dog barks in a different way. It can mean 5 million different things, like you can see, look, what's happening, or stop it, don't do it. Wow, that's cool, come and see, Mom. Look, there's a garbage man outside, you know? So there's so many different ways. And I'm pretty sure that now you all have dogs? Everyone has dogs? Okay, perfect. So now I'm sure that all of you know when and how your dog barks and what it's for, right? So my previous dog, when I've heard one big woof, I knew that the door is closed somewhere and he wants to go on the other side of the door. If I came from work late and he did woo, 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 that meant, where did you go and why you're so late, right? So there's different types of barks, and you will know what your dog wants or how they're barking. If it's a new puppy in the family, just be patient. You will start recognizing those barks. So the example of vocalization. So whining or yelping is another thing. And whining and yelping, like I said, it's basically what little puppies do to call their mom when they cannot see yet, when they were just born. And whining and yelping is mostly when they're in pain. When they're adult dogs, they don't whine anymore to call someone. It's mostly, I'm in pain, I'm not happy, something bad happened. Or, you know, we have a husky. He is already a very talkative, vocal dog. But in this situation, an owner asked me, or a parent asked me to check on their dog that had a kidney transplant or kidney removed. I think removed. They removed a kidney, and the dog was staying home, and they just asked me, Veronica, can you go and check if he's fine? And his onesie got opened a little bit. So I attempted to put it together, but he did not let me. And let's see what he had to say about that. What? I know. Oh my goodness. I know. Don't lick it. No licking. Come on. So we're not friendly enough that I could go and put my hand in front of him. As you can see, he's really angry with me just being there. But so yeah, that's an example of whining and yelping. Hopefully your dogs will not do that too much. Does anyone has a husky? Good. My dogs never bark or vocalize, so to me, you know, quietness, silence is amazing. So if I had a husky, I don't know. But I bet there is some, do we have any huskies in the shelter to adopt? No? No? Not at this time? Sorry, you're there. Okay, good. No huskies. Okay, so let's go more into body language. So this is the sentence I hear the most. But the tail was wagging. Tail is wagging. This dog, why did the dog bite me? The tail was wagging all the time, right? So when you see it that the tail often wags, but you have to look at the whole picture. And we'll go into more detailed things in a second. But, you know, when it's just like this, it's relaxed and friendly. If it's down, it's fearful. If it's up there and it's going very quick, that's a tense wag, right? So that happens a lot when the bite happens. So people say like, oh, the tail was wagging, I thought the dog is friendly. You have to look at the whole body, ears, posture, everything else, right? Relaxed and friendly, nervous and fearful. This is obvious when they have the tail tucked between the legs, right? I think most of you know. High alert, it might not be wagging, it might just be standing there. And the tense is just kind of like pointing. So this is pretty much easy, right? If you saw a dog like that, you could recognize what's happening. Okay, let's go to the next slide. So let's look at these two dogs. There's two dogs playing for the first time. And just let's see, and maybe some of you could tell me how these dogs feel about playing with each other. So the dog in the green collar is a young pup. In the beginning, his tail was a little bit more relaxed. Now it's a little bit, it's kind of going from not relaxed to relaxed. And he wants to play. The other dog is a very mature, skilled female. She is an older female. She's very mature. She would start playing at some point, but she needs to meet him, she needs to check him, she needs to find out what's happening. So I would not say that she's playing right now, right? She's feeling him out. He might think it's a play. Oh, they're starting a little bit. But you could see the tail difference, right? Both of them were wagging, but in a different way. Okay, let's go to the next one. And another one. So the brindle one is a female, and the black one is a male. And the female is older. She is maybe 4 years old. And the black dog is 1 year old. She is a little bit less skilled. Nice correction. You know, he jumped at her. Do you think he's very relaxed? The black one? No, he's a little bit nervous, right? I would not say this is a terrible interaction. He is trying, but he's definitely tensed. Why are you not playing? I'm such a cool guy, right? So in the beginning, he was a little bit more wiggly and loose, and then he started being a little bit tense, like, I'm playing. Why are you not playing? Should I be worried? What's happening, right? But these are little things that we have to look at. Even when the tail is wagging, it can wag in a different way. And of course, there's another thing. There are some dogs that do not have a tail, right? Does anyone have dogs with no tail? Just me? Yeah, okay. So there are dogs that do not have a tail, and then how can we tell they're friendly? We can tell they're friendly, right? So we have a cuddle dog, a Boston Terrier, some Spaniels, English Bulldogs, French Bulldogs, and Corgis. Some dogs are just born without the tail, right? We don't dog them too much anymore. I think in Europe it's completely forbidden. But yeah, some of them are just born without the tail. And if they have a little tiny knob, you can still tell, but sometimes there's nothing, right? And if they're a little bit more shy, they're not going to throw their whole butt on the side, right? So we have to look at other things. And let's go to the next one. So quickly, if I showed you these 3 different dogs, I'm pretty sure that most of you would be able to say that the first one is happy, right? There's a play bow, there's an open mouth, wagging tail, right? The second one, this one is a problem. This one is a problem because in my experience, lots of people see a dog like that, they go and pet on the belly because you guys think they want scratches on the belly. If this is your own dog that is used to that and does it all the time, that's fine. They probably want the belly to be scratched. But stranger dogs, dogs that you don't know, when they go on upside up, upside down, yeah, thank you, that means please go away. This is an extremely submissive position, and I've seen dogs doing that. I asked people do not reach for this dog's belly. They still did, and they got bit or snapped at, right? So this says, please leave me alone, move on, I don't want your attention. And then the last one, of course, hackles up, tail down, paw up. This is all, I'm not sure, I'm still assessing, I don't know what's happening, right? But this is like the whole picture. Now let's look a little bit more into other things, which is calming signals. Calming signals are used by dogs all over the world. This is so amazing. Okay. So I brought two of my dogs from Europe, and I adopted one dog here, and they communicate well. Even though two of them speak Polish and one of them speaks English, right? This is what is so cool about calming signals, is that this is language used by all the dogs, and they use calming signals for maintaining harmony, showing mutual kindness, just to help avoid conflicts. Dogs do not want to have conflicts. 99.9% dogs do not want to get into a conflict. They want to avoid it. They only go into conflict when there's no other option. So, calming signals. There's this lady, Turit Ruga, and she wrote a little book. It's very thin. It's on talking terms with dogs, calming signals. I really suggest everyone getting one. It's very cheap. It's probably like, $15, 50 pages, lots of pictures. So if you have children, grandchildren, you can show them those pictures. It's a really good book that talks about dog language. She also made a little dictionary for barking, but like I said, you probably know by now how your dog barks and what different barks mean. So the one on your left will be the most important. Okay, so let's go into those calming signals. Head turning and turning away. We humans, we look at each other straight, eye to eye. When we communicate, we look at each other. Dogs don't. If you look at both pictures, the black dog came probably abruptly, and the other one just moved his head away. I don't want a conflict, I'm just gonna move the head away. And by the way, these are signals that dogs send to dogs. They send it to us too. And we can send them to the dogs. I tell people all the time to do those signals when they have an overstimulated puppy or if they meet a new dog. Dog trainers are not magicians. We just go in your house and we start communicating from the door. I'm not a whisperer, I'm not a magician. I just talk to your dog from the moment they walk in, right? So this lecture is so you start talking to them too. So when you look at those two puppies, both of them are turning the head away. Both of them are saying, I'm not a threat, I'm not a threat. They probably had a great play date after that when they met like this, okay? For some reason, we like to hug our dogs and we like to put the faces next to them, right? And then they just turn away. Who has a dog that when you try to take a picture, they move their head away, right? Right? They don't like the confrontation. My grandma, whenever I tried to explain to her many times this, but she still will go to my dog and be like, why are you moving away? Why are you turning away? He just wants to be polite. He just wants to say hi in a dog way. Okay, next one. Licking and yawning. All these signals we have to look at in the context. So I'm not saying if you're holding a delicious steak and your dog is licking, that's probably about the steak. If your dog just woke up and is yawning, that's probably about waking up. But if you're in a training session, if you're in a new situation, if there are people coming to your house, if there's any kind of stressful situation, your dog might be licking a lot. After this class, please go home, watch pictures of your dogs on your phone, and see how many of those pictures have a tongue out. I guarantee there will be a lot. Okay, so a tongue out is a calming signal. I'm trying to calm myself. It's a stressful situation. I don't like this situation. Like we humans, we breathe, right? So dogs do that. They will lick to tell you that I'm stressed, to tell me it's okay, right? And then might also yawn. Why do you think that dog is licking right now, their nose? What can be a reason for that? Anyone? Because there's a picture being taken probably pretty close up. Look how close this camera had to be, right? Tongue. Why is this dog yawning? Being held. Dogs have 4 legs for a reason. Dogs do not fly. I always tell people, do not make your dog fly. It's a dog. It has 4 legs to walk on the floor. So often when we pick up our dogs, they will give a big yawn. I don't like this situation. I'm stressed. This is too much, right? Okay. What else do we have? Eye signaling. Whale eye, right? Whale eye, it's called. So whale eye, or when they show you the side of the eye, when they show you the white part of the eye, this is also to calm you or to calm themselves, both. These 2 puppies are playing, and the white puppy is turning the head, is signaling with eyes. They're still going to have fun. They're still going to play, but they're just saying, it's fun. You know, it might be too much. I don't want to cause any problem. I don't want to cause any problem. Okay, let's play. The one on the top, this is a picture taken in my house. That was a guest dog that was on the couch next to me, and he was, napping with one eye open. And I started petting him, and he turned his head towards me and did that eye, right? So it was just like, why are you touching me? I'm just chilling. Just leave me alone. The Akita, sometimes they squint their eyes. So again, context. If it's sunny and the sun comes in your eyes, they might squint it, right? But if it's... Have you seen those guilty videos on YouTube? My dog knows that they did something wrong because they're just like making this guilty face, or they're just moving away, or they just go slow, right? I'm sorry, I'm going to ruin your world, but it's not because they know they're guilty. You came home 4 hours later. They don't know this happened. They feel that you're stressed, and they're calming you down. They're sending calming signals. They're moving their head back. They're squinting their eyes. They're going slow. They're trying to avoid to calm the situation, because you're coming. You saw your couch ripped into pieces, and your cortisol is up. You're angry or frustrated, or at least unhappy. And your dog can feel that, right? So they're trying to say, like, calm down. I don't know who did that. Be happy that they did not take me, right? Okay, next one. Freezing, sitting down, walking slowly. How many of you calls your dog from the backyard to come in, right? And the more you call them, the slower they come. Or they will just freeze and sit down, right? Or puppies, when you take them new places, you walk, and suddenly they sit out of nowhere. Not because they're tired. New situation, new environment, new place. This is stressful. What am I doing here? Oh my goodness. Right? Or you're calling them home from the backyard. Come on, I have 5 minutes to go to work. Come on, let's go. Come. Nothing works. Bag of treats. Nothing works. Oh my goodness, I'm going to be late. Your dog knows that your cortisol level is up. You're in a hurry. You want to go somewhere. They're going to I'm coming. Just calm down, and then I'll come when you're calm, right? So that's absolutely normal. When you look at the two labs on your left side, the brown one is pretty happy, wiggly, jumpy. The other one, the white one, just wants to have a break. Okay, you're too much, dude. Just stop. Just stop. I need a break, right? So when you see your dogs playing with their friends, they might just sit or lay down. That's just to say, like, I'm good, you're good, okay, we're good, okay, let's play. Okay? The huskies, look at the huskies on the top picture. It's the one that is standing is pretty rude, right? So not only this one is laying down, he's also turning the head away and is also yawning. So all these signals sometimes come in a combo. It's not like one. They come one after another, one after another. So if you see your dog licking, yawning, licking, turning away, that means the stress is going up. So either take your dog away from the situation or distract them, do something to make them feel better. Okay, thank you. Splitting up. Okay, another one. Lots of people tell me, oh, my dog is so jealous. Whenever I sit on the couch with my loved one, they come just in between us. And they just push their body in between us and they sit in between. They want to be a part of it. Or if I'm hugging with my husband, the dog will come and be in between the legs. Have you seen that happen to anyone? Yeah. I'm sorry, they're not jealous. They're just not used to us being so close. This is, for a dog, it's really close. It's too close. You're hugging, you're sitting face to face, you're touching. What is this? They just want to resolve the conflict before it happens. They want everyone to be cool and chill. So usually, I mean, that dog is a male. We don't know about this one, but usually the smart one is a female. I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. But whenever I did like play groups, and the older, more mature females would do that. They would split and be like, hey, too much. Go your ways, calm down. You can play again in a second, but just making sure that everything is fine. So sometimes trust, if you have 3 dogs and one dog is constantly going in between 2 dogs playing, I would trust them, like something's up. Maybe the play is escalating towards conflict, or they're just, 2 kids playing, they eventually will start crying, right? So the 3rd dog might go in between and be like, hey, stop. Don't take them away. Don't tell them like, oh, you're ruining the play. Maybe just trust them. Okay. Displacement behaviors, another one. Displacement behavior can be any kind of thing that your dogs are doing to avoid a situation. So you're taking your dog for training, or you're taking your dog to Main Street, and you're walking, and suddenly your dog needs to sniff this particular thing, even though they sniffed it 5 million times. We're going to sniff this. This is an important spot. Or I'm going to pee here for 1,000,000th time. Right? There's nothing going out, but I'm still going to pee. I'm still going to pretend I'm peeing. Or for example, so there's so many displacement behaviors. And to explain it to you, imagine you're going down the street. You're going down the street pretty happy, a good day, sunny day. And then on the other side of the street, your ex is coming. You're like, oh, Jesus, I don't want to talk to him. You take your phone out and you pretend you're busy. You talk, you're busy. Hi, I would talk, but I'm busy. Bye, right? And you pass and you go. That's the same thing that dogs do. They do exactly the same thing. So, the puppy is rambunctious. What is the mama doing? I'm going to sniff here, right? let's sniff together. Let's go and sniff together. So she's doing something else to make sure that this not going to go up, the energy is not going up. The black and white are having some kind of discussion. We don't know what's happening, but they're face to face and the tails are up, right? It might be friendly, it might be not friendly, we don't know. What is the puppy doing? Biting on a stick. When I tell my Heidi, go potty, and she goes, and she doesn't potty, but immediately starts grabbing things and biting, I know that she doesn't have to go to the bathroom. She's just gonna do something else. If I say go potty and she goes, then she turns around and come back home, right? But as soon as she grabs a stick and bites it, I know that she does not have to go. She's just finding something to do. So yeah, even peeing. One more thing. Drinking water can be a displacement behavior. My best friend used to have 8 dogs, big dogs. And when I came with my little dog, I would come to a little hallway. It was like double door. And the second door was glass. So I could see behind those postures of 3 Alaskan Malamutes, 2 labs, and another 2 mutts, but all like big ones. And my dog is tiny. And as soon as I opened the door, Rupert would go in between them, get to the bowl, and drink, and drink, and drink, and drink. All the dogs were around, sniffing, saying, oh, this is Rupert, we know him, okay, hi, hi, hi. And then after a few seconds, they would walk their other directions, lay down, and everyone was fine, right? So my dog figured out the way to have a displacement behavior. He thought it out, and he was like, if I drink, my head will be down, so I'm not facing anyone, I'm not staring at anyone. There's 7 or 8 dogs, so the probability of meeting someone face to face is pretty high, right? So I'm just gonna drink, and they're gonna sniff, they get their information, who is that, who's coming, and then they would just go their ways, lay down, and everyone was fine, right? So very interesting. Just try seeing what can be your dog's displacement behavior and why are they doing it, right? Scratching. Sit, 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 sit. They're scratching because I don't know what you want me to do. I'm just going to be itchy, right? That's a good one. Lots of displacement behaviors, right? If we go around the training center and we do sit and your dog suddenly needs to sniff that. This is so important today. That's a displacement behavior. Okay. So, so here is Heidi. She is my deaf female. She is 7 years old now. I think at this video she was maybe 5. She's very serious. When dogs come to my house, and this is a puppy that was staying with us for a week, when dogs come to my house, she usually schools them. For a week or so, I think he was staying for 2 weeks. For a week or so, she tells them, there is no freaking way we're playing. You're gonna listen to me, or I'm gonna bite you. And they all listen to her. But after a week, she's like, you've been here for a long time, let's play. And they're like, no, thank you. So this is a situation where Elvis is minding his own business, doing something, and Heidi decided to invite him to play after a week of being difficult. Okay. Okay. Carl, can we watch this again? Okay. They never played. She was like, okay. So she's thinking about it, and she's going to start sniffing, right? She's sniffing, and he's like, what's going on? And you saw a half yawn and a lick, right? There was a half yawn and a lick, and then he's still not sure. And at some point, he's going to start sniffing and trying to get information. Another lick, right? Another lick. Now, another lick. Now he's trying to get information. What is your intention? Are you stressed or are you happy? Another lick. I'm going to groom myself. This is an important situation right now. I'm going to groom myself. And she's like, but let's play. And look at his body. Like, look how there's an eye, there's a head turning. Did you see the head turning, right? And now he's going to just slowly go away and avoid the situation because she's a crazy woman, right? And now he's going to lay down. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, at this point, she looked at him like, why you don't want to play with me? You're weird. But look how short situation and how many signals there were. Lick, 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 yawn, lick, right? There was a head turn. There was all these like displacement behaviors. So they are showing those to us too. But because we're not paying attention, they disappear. Okay, next one. Okay, another one. So this is a situation where two dogs are playing. The Doodle and Elvis that you remember from the previous picture, they are friends. But one more time. So, and the Doodle, Ollery, she knows them both, but these two boys, they've met themselves first time. This is the first time they're meeting, and the energy is weird. So what is the female doing? Splitting. You don't have to play. Play with me. Don't play with him. Right? So even something like that. Okay, next one. This is just a fun picture of the biggest dog I've seen with the smallest dog I've seen, and their energy was so amazing. They were just very calm, and the bigger dog is a puppy. He is 1 year old, and the small one is a 5-year-old. And just the way they say hi, right? So the bigger dog came up to the smaller one. The smaller one, what does she do? She turns her head away and gives him an eye, right? Just to say, hi, I don't have anything bad here, you know. We're going to just talk and go our ways. Okay, so important thing about those calming signals, when we don't see them, when we don't see that our dogs are yawning, licking, displacing, doing all these things, they stop, right? A golden rule of training. If you ignore a bad behavior, it disappears, right? That's what trainers tell you, right? If your dog pees in the house, just ignore it. When your dog pees outside, be happy. Because rightfully so, at some point when you don't reinforce the behavior goes away. Unfortunately, it happens with calming signals too, right? So imagine you're going down the street and your dog keeps looking at you and keeps looking, and he sees a dog, he licks, yawns, licks, but you're on your phone or you're looking at something else. At some point, your dog will take control and start being reactive, will start being insecure because you're not seeing that they're not happy with that dog coming closer. Well, if you see that someone's coming, it's good to acknowledge that, right? We're saying in the beginning, before your dog decides to take control over, but you're walking and your dog sees a little bit suspicious about the other dog. You say, yeah, I see him, it's fine. Okay, I can see that you're concerned. Let's take one step to the side. Just show your dog that you've got this. You've got this. You can walk a little bit away. You can go on the other side of the street. You don't have to go face to face with that dog, right? There's little things that you can show your dog to say, I got this, it's okay, right? They look at us for information all the time. So when they're not using, when we stop or when we don't see calming signals, they disappear. They disappear. That's how we end up with dogs with aggression, dogs with all the problems. They've been not heard, they've been misunderstood, They just don't know what to do anymore. And that escalates to threatening signals. So threatening signals are used by dogs to keep other individuals at distance. They are the last cry for peace and the last attempt of a dog to keep things okay and cool and, not to escalate the conflict. So threatening signals are very important because, again, they're the last call. It's showing teeth, it's nose wrinkling, it's lip lifting, it's snapping, snarling, biting. It's all the signals that are happening before the bite, right? So when someone comes to me and says, the dog bit from out of nowhere, we don't know what happened. It wasn't coming. It just happened. The dog bit for no reason. I think within the last 10 years of being a trainer, I've seen one dog that bit for no reason. And that dog maybe had some neurological problems. There's always a reason. There is always a signal. There is always at least, something. If they're punished, if they're trained by too much aversive methods, if they're abused, they might go to these right away. So I think the next slide is an example of a dog that unfortunately was, he was starting to show some aggression at age of 4 months old. This is 3-year-old. So this is already a dog that does not show any of eye signaling, head turning, anything like that. He just goes to bark, snarl, showing teeth, going forward. When I approached that kennel, I don't know if you've noticed, he lowered his head, he lowered his growl, and then he went forward, right? A dog that is defensive will go backwards. And I'm trying to throw treats, but they're bouncing back from but yeah, so this is a dog that even if he was trying, sometimes dogs are not taught by their mother. Maybe they were taken too early from their mother, right? So when we go back to the first slide, language, I believe there are dogs that are bilingual, but they're not in the shelters. Bilingual dogs are at homes, most of them. Bilingual dogs are dogs that get along with dogs, and they get along with humans. They can speak both languages. What we see in shelters more and more is dogs are extremely good with other dogs and have problems with humans. They're either shy or aggressive or they're scared, right? But they're good with dogs. Or we have dogs that are extremely great with people, but they hate other dogs. So that's when a dog stops communicating in one language. It's just like speaking a different language. If you don't use it, it goes away. So that dog did not speak neither human nor dog, because even with a dog, he did not know how to communicate. That was really hard. Okay. Each dog has its own response threshold, and there is always a reason for the bite. We said that. Okay, next one, please. So the last section of this seminar is rituals. So I told you how dogs communicate to dogs and how dogs communicate to us. But then why we have so many dogs in shelters, why we do have so many issues, behavioral issues, they come from culture barrier, So with language barrier and the culture barrier. So we have different rituals that dogs have. When we greet and approach person, right? When we come up to the person, I'm going to go straight at you and I'm going to look straight at your eyes and I'm going to give you my hand. Thank you for coming, right? But it's straight ahead and it's just, in a dog language, it's very aggressive. Dogs approach each other like this. In a half circle, we're going to sniff the butt, right, of each other. So when we have a dog on a leash and there's someone else has a dog on a leash and we go down the street and we just go, in our mind, we're just going. What are we doing? We're forcing them to go straight at each other, right? So even, like I said, even a little step to the side, and the more people know that, the more people will do it, the more dogs will be happy, right? Because we will just go a little bit on the side and say, like, we're not, right? We're not forcing you to go and say hi to this dog. Or if the leash was loose and your dog had a choice to go in a circle, but most dogs are on a very short leash, suitcased, they have no way to go away. So we're bringing them straight ahead at that dog. Okay, what's another one? Handshake and eye contact. Before COVID, and after COVID now too, I hope, I don't know. But handshake. When you look at the picture on the right side, this is a picture from an actual dog fight. Dogs do not use paws with each other than fighting. So if you have a COVID puppy that never seen a handshake, it might look like if a stranger comes up and just goes like this, they're going to attack. They're going to grab that hand. I had a situation like that. I had a dog that seen it as an actual threat. So when you come up to a stranger or a person with a dog, and you want to, maybe just be careful with how quick or how intense the handshake is, right? If there is a dog that is looking a little bit like, what are your intentions? Eye contact. When I found this picture with a corgi, I probably Googled cute baby and a dog, right? But look at the dog's body language, the ears, the eyes, everything. When dogs stare at each other, when dogs look at each other eye to eye, that's a threat. That's very close to a fight. So if dogs communicate like that with dogs, if we look at them and they move their head away, why do we stare? Why do we just go to that puppy that is on the street? Oh my goodness, look at that puppy, you're sweet. And we just stare at them, right? This is very rude. We're very rude humans. I have to tell you, we are very rude humans. So if you look at the Doberman and the German Shepherd, they're ready to fight. Look how hard this stare is, right? But that corgi, he probably did not bite this girl because, I don't know, because she's been around for a while, so he's like, okay, but the next time the new one comes, I'm going to bite her face, right? Or a different child. But it's not a dog's fault. Okay, next one. Eye contact. Look at the mother with a baby. Right? We just have different ways. We do it differently. But let's not impose our ways on the dogs. That's the only thing I'm asking. Right? Okay. Hugs, again. A happy couple on a Hamptons beach probably, I don't know. And a dog fight. So when you bring a puppy home, and you just have your whole family come in and you hug every single family member on the day one of the puppy in the house, they're going to have a trauma. They're going to be like, why is mom fighting with every single person? I don't like you, and I don't like you, and I don't like you, and I don't like you, right? So this is how dogs hug. This is how dogs hug. They sleep either, So who sleeps with their dogs? I'm not asking. I'm just saying that there's two types of people, those who sleep with their dogs and those that lie about it. So it's okay. So those who sleep with their dogs know that they either go here, right? Or they go here, right? So this is a dog way of hugging. If you have that dog that goes with their head on the pillow, I had one of those. That was my first dog, and he did not have any dog sibling. He was convinced he was a human for a long time. So that means he was just speaking human more than dog. And he was completely comfortable with his head on the pillow, and, it's a different way. So I'm just saying, whatever you're doing with your own dog, they will tolerate it. They're not biting, they're not, you can take 5 million pictures, maybe from now on just take 1 million, right? But they love you. You feed them, you walk them, you cuddle them. That's why they tolerate you. But it doesn't mean that when your neighbor or a friend comes to your house, they can do exactly the same thing that you're doing. Okay? And I'm a dog trainer, and I still will hug my dog every now and then. That's when my husband will threaten me, like, I'm going to take a picture and post it so everyone knows. No, I think, can you go forward? No, maybe not in here. But I found a picture of me and my dog from where I was before I became a dog trainer, and I have him like here next to my face, and it was sweet, but I was very embarrassed. So look at this. This is all things that we do. Dogs do not like when we pet them on the head, when we go from above, when we hover over them. When you pet, go under the chin, go behind the ear, go on the short-tail blade. Right? This dog, retractable leash, being lifted, being kissed, taken picture. He does not look happy, right? Okay, next one. Another idea, right? So it all looks like cute pictures, but you see, I'm cursed. I cannot look at pictures with people and dogs anymore, and like, you know, every time I look at pictures, I see a problem. Okay, next one. Okay, poor therapy dogs. If you have a therapy dog, I love therapy dogs. I just if you have one, or if you take them places, they do great job. Remember, they need a lot of rest because this is very stressful. They will tolerate this, and they will allow kids and people to touch them and to get their cortisol released and all of that. But enough is enough one day, right? So just make sure that they always rest. Look how happy this guy is and how not happy this dog is. So again, we have a head turn, we have a lip licking, we have submissive eye closure, and ears are down. All these signals at once. It's really hard to miss it when you know them. So no excuse, guys. No excuse from now on. Okay? So this is, I believe, the end of the presentation, but we'll do a quick quiz. This is a Polish actress. I found this picture online. A Polish actress with her little tiny puppy. Does she look happy? The woman. The woman looks happy, yes. And the dog does not look happy. Yeah, we have a head turn, we have a little eye signaling, right? So who can tell me why the dog is not happy? It's being squeezed close to her. Okay, one. What else? He's flying 4 feet off the ground. Yes, flying. What else? Pictures is being taken. What else? There is at least 5 more. Yeah, so we'll put it together with being squeezed in a weird way, right? Pardon me? Face to face, yes. What else? Come on, guys. They're at some kind of event, right? So it's an event, it's a place with probably lots of people. It's a new place, lots of people. Noise, probably, because if she's a Polish actress, right? So there's probably some kind of gala or something, and this poor dog is just being taken from person to person. And then the camera, right? The events, this probably is not an iPhone. This is probably a camera with a big lens, right? Something very close, scary. So again, this is life. We brought them here. We brought them into our lives. This is fine. But if this happens, okay, let's go and sniff in the park, right? Let's do it quick. Let's cut it short. Let's, I see that you're not happy, but if when you send your kids to kindergarten, they're not happy, but it has to be done, right? So some things have to be done. I'm not saying avoid stress. No. They need to be pushed to go through their stress levels. They have to, but I'm not saying don't overdo it, right? Don't overdo it. Just be smart about it, and little by little. Okay. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. Carl, you want to say something about the next one? No? Okay. Thank you.